All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. We are back at it with another Invincible episode 4. Quick rundown of what happens. Markets goes into the future, saves the day, quote unquote. We'll get into the details of all that, and then the episode ends, kind of, but then we get Allen in space with Nolan, and we get their story. So that's it, just in a nutshell. We're gonna get into details and stuff like that as we discuss it. But sorry, with Brandman, what you think about this episode? The two stories. What are your thoughts?
I like how this episode balanced out two stories. Like, I can't even call that a post-credit scene because that was like a whole different episode all its own.
Yeah, which was like 20 minutes.
Yeah. That was great. I like the time travel part was pretty compelling, just in terms of what Mark ended up having to do. I like how the show kind of, like, the way that it handles everything, kind of like the teen drama, Mark being forced to make decisions like this, the gore factor, the drama factor, all of it shouldn't work together as well as it does, but it does. Which is one of my favorite things about the show. And even for as violent and gory as it is, it never feels excessive, if that makes sense. It works in the context of the world that they've set up. But yeah, pretty good episode so far. The time travel thing was pretty good, and then just how it just kind of veered off kilter with because this was 2 episodes in one. Let's face it.
Yeah.
How it went completely off kilter with the second half of it. I liked that. I was just expecting like a brief post credit scene, and then I got 20 more minutes of show.
Yeah. What are you, Ryan? What do you think about this episode?
More
episodes, I guess, because it kind of was, like Brandman said.
Yeah, but it's just 2 parts of the same thing that's going on at the same time. Just trying to let you know where they both are. I think Mark is definitely do it as I say and not as I do. Like, we don't kill people. Next episode, kill somebody. The episode before, kill somebody. Like, he was asking for it, so that shit makes it okay. No, you just told him we have to appreciate and approve of human life, and you just ripped his head off his shoulders. So like that doesn't make any sense to me, and it just seems like he is very much like his father, And when he gets lost in the sauce of what he's doing, he kind of forgets who he really is, and it seems to happen a lot to him. Now you can't tell him, hey, don't kill him, don't kill anybody, and then you continue to kill people every episode. But it's different because it's me. I'm a little bit different. Yeah, I don't like that. Then I really thought it was so weird, like talking about I love you, like what? I love you. What? Does that even make sense right now? Like, I know we've only been dating for about 4 episodes, like or 2 episodes, but I really love you. What?
I mean, that makes sense, though. I mean, they've known each other for years at this point, like years, and we're super close.
Romantic is different. Like, no matter if you're friends, whatever, but to be romantic and say I love you that fast I think it's way too fast. You don't know them on that romantic level. So like, I just thought that it felt too quick of admission of love, like right then. I thought, I mean, I'm enthralled with you. I really like you. We're really good together. All those things make sense. But to say I love you that fast when you haven't had an official first real date, that's crazy. I thought that was too much. And then so that's one side. And then him having to get his own place. You definitely do, man. You're a superhero. You can't have your own place. Can't be sleeping with your mom in your mom's house. Your mom's probably doing the same thing you're doing with her door closed. That's messed up. So, but Nolan Allen art was amazing. Was awesome. Allen was awesome And he's like pretending to get beat up. Oh no, I need your help, Nolan. Like it's so good. They really work really well together. And I thought that was hearing J.K. Simmons on one side and having Seth Rogen on the other side. Just they played off each other really well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really didn't think how, because whenever like now that I because for me I watched season 1 and you hear Allen as Seth Rogen and it always felt weird, but now when I read the comics I heard that voice. It fits the character too much, and it's just like I feel like it shouldn't though, because like it's Seth Rogen.
It's Seth Rogen.
He has one voice. It's his voice. That's it. So I mean, I guess J.K. Simmons does too, but he has that
commanding
voice where like it could mold into different things. Like I hear JJ, in Spider-Man, but I also hear Omni-Man. So yeah, he does a good job. They both do a good job with it. Okay, anything else?
No, it was just a fun overall episode. I'm enjoying the journey that we're going on. So
yeah, I'm especially enjoying this season so far.
Yeah, especially after coming off of a pretty lackluster season 2, with a weird break in it that really threw off all the pacing and all the momentum. Yeah, season 3 is like halfway through. It's really knocking it out of the park, I think. But yeah, going like my thoughts real quick was like, love them doing a time jump, and then if you go back and watch it, there is a ton of Easter eggs in there, a ton of Easter eggs that tells you what is going to happen, and like, so it's like he goes to the future, so obviously some things carry over and some things don't, so you kind of need to pay attention, which I love when they do stuff like that. It's like, oh, here's an Easter egg that you might get like in 2 seasons from now, so I thought that was like well done. But I know you it was Brian, you said like it's kind of he's becoming too much like his dad. And I would say like I think he's trying so hard not to, that he's still doing some of the actions, but at the very least getting both of their stories in this episode of like he was kind of forced to kill Immortal, this King Immortal, but he felt bad about it and questioned and even told Eve, is like, am I a good guy? Am I evil?
He's human. Yeah, he's human. But that's not what he told. He said like, look, we don't kill people.
Yeah.
Period. There's no questioning. There's no if or ands or buts. But every episode he seems to have an excuse of why he had to kill someone.
Yeah.
Just saying, that's if you have a flat rule and you find a way to break that rule every single episode, maybe it's not a rule.
But I mean, remember, like we're also getting a lot of go back to Cecil's, story, of like, hey, we don't work with criminals, and then he becomes a criminal, and gets put in jail and is forced to work with a prison of them, literally everyone he's around is a criminal, and it changed his worldview, and he became a different person because of it.
I mean, but you're teaching Oliver, when you are a role model, father figure, all that stuff, and you're telling a little kid you don't do this, and then you consistently do that, you take the risk of that little kid seeing you're full of BS. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do because you do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard to explain to somebody who is the strongest person in the world, like, not to do something when you can do anything you want, and I mean, that's why I like this season. I think we really get into, and even Kirkman after last week's episode, Kirkman is the guy who created Invincible, talked about his new suit, it's all black and blue, and obviously it's meant to showcase all the darkness that is in Mark's life right now, and Mark is dealing with all these like, black and white issues that might not be black and white, and it's just really interesting to see, it all go from I don't want to kill, but I keep killing and I don't want to Omni-Man, to Nolan's story at the second half of this show, where he's like, I killed because I was told to and I was good at it and I did it for a long time, but now I feel bad. So now it's like they're both coming to a place in the middle, but they're coming from opposite ends of no killing to, hey, I can kill whoever I want because I'm the strongest person in the galaxy, and
what does that do for Oliver though?
Yeah, that's the question, because we even saw it last week. It was like he sees Omni-Man as the savior of his planet,
his father, like his role model, his everything.
But then Mark, same thing. He saw him as this role model, and then they found out the truth, and he wasn't a good guy. But it's still the same person. So they see the same person in two different lights. And I think that's Oliver is. I couldn't wait until we got to the Oliver character because he's such a great character. He's such an interesting character. And there's still a lot to explore with him. So yeah, it's just this show. That's why now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it's not really about being superpowers and comic book, good guys versus bad guys. It's all about morality, and where do you draw your line in the sand, and is it always going to be right where you draw it? Is it going to be moving always? It's really interesting, man.
So even the idea of Cecil, so he looks like he's the bad guy, right? But if you're in that situation, would you do anything different than Cecil's doing?
Yeah. So
and then why does Mark not wear earplugs?
I wonder if it would matter. Honestly, well,
the vibration. I mean, you could do something that you could do. The vibration, you could kind of, take the vibration out of you, so you don't have to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's debilitating. But if you can figure out to disperse the vibrations away, you can continue to function. Stop going into the Pentagon without earplugs in, the right ones. It just doesn't make any sense. You're not thinking these things out.
Yeah, Mark is too hasty at times.
Remember, he's only like 18. He's like what, maybe 20 at most.
I was going to say 19, 18, 19.
Yeah, he's right there. I mean, he's still a kid, himself.
He's old enough for common sense.
Yeah, but also, when no one can stop you, what are you gonna do? It's when you're at that age, you do think you're invincible, and then you add in the power of being invincible. It's like, it just shows he has a lot of growing still to do. But and even like going to Cecil with breaking in, like you're telling me you're just gonna go over there and like, hey, I just want to talk. Like, no, it's going in there and just bashing heads. So yeah. This everything's really going well so far. At least story wise, it's not going well for Mark. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he was getting his blow up still. I mean, he's still losing.
I in episode 3, was it? Maybe 2, when he loses against Seismic or whatever that guy's name is. I thought that was kind of like we were just told like he's this much stronger now and faster, and then
somehow he automatically loses. Like how?
Yeah. I think he's cocky. But I always saw it as him as Goku. Goku always dicked around too much and got his ass kicked, but then got stronger and won, type of thing. So, what do you guys want to see? Anything happen? Any like, you want to see Mark do something? You want to see Oliver do something? What do you think is going to happen with Omni-Man and Allen? What you think, Brandman?
But as far as Allen and Omni-Man crossing paths with Mark again,
or any of the characters, like yeah. Or do you want to see something happen with certain characters?
After that, I want to see Allen and Nolan just do more stuff together for sure.
buddy cop,
like buddy cop.
Yeah,
I'd love to see more of that dynamic because that was pretty entertaining, especially with how reluctant Nolan was until the very end, where he decides he wants to go see his pet. I mean his wife.
So you know what? I think I miss my wife. Like, dude, didn't you like just do a lot of bad things to her?
Yeah.
Didn't you say a lot of crazy things to her? Well, I love her though.
And about her.
Yeah.
That was some cold blooded shit.
Didn't you call her a pet?
Didn't you call her a pet, dude? Yeah. Like really, really callously too.
Yeah.
I don't
well,
think
imagine you the other dude. Imagine you the other dude. How would you feel?
What do you mean?
You know, like if Omni-Man came back and you're dating.
Oh.
Yeah, this might be a problem.
Yeah. What was that? Paul? I think his name
Paul.
is. Yeah. Yeah. Though that's the one thing I do appreciate the show is making the mom a better character. I think because in the comic book, she really is like a pet, you know, because she goes from being Omni-Man's pet to becoming like Mark's kind of pet. Not even kryptonite, just pet, because she in the comics she's like an alcoholic and has a lot of issues and just kind of gets in the way and you know later on you know something happens, but for the most part up until this point like she's just, you know, like imagine like you're dating somebody and they just leave the dog, you know. That's like if Omni-Man had a pet and just left the pet and now the pet's like moping around and now Mark has to like handle it, you know. That's how it was in the comic, at least how I felt. In the show, they're handling her so much better in the show. Like she's
a mother still, so it doesn't make any sense for her to react that way.
Yeah, they didn't go down the alcoholic kind of road. They started to a tad bit, but they didn't really do much with it, which I appreciated. But yeah, I think they're handling the mom way better in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the buddy cop stuff is pretty cool. I liked how they did show like how powerful Allen is. Like he's a badass now, man. Like he's yeah. Because was it like the second season when he got his ass kicked? Like he had an eyeball popped out of his socket, like ripped in half. The dude was like done, you know. And now he is as strong as a Viltrumite. You know, like he took a beating and then just got up and started making jokes like it was no big deal. You know, so it was like, nah, yeah, he's got some power. So, you know, I definitely we gotta see more of Allen.
Who was that lion guy?
Battle Beast.
All right,
yeah. I think we saw him in season 1. I want to say it's been a while since we saw him. He was in season 1 and he beat the shit out of all of the Invincible and Rex and all of them. Like, yeah, he beat the shit out of all of them. And then Omni-Man came and whooped him.
And he was able to fight a Viltrumite like that, you know, or two, honestly.
Yeah, Battle Beast is fucking. He's awesome. You know, and all he wants to do is just beat up people. Yeah. So I don't know. What else? Anything else before we move on? But I really don't got any questions like I did last week. But you know,
same.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when Nolan gets there? Is he going to be like, honey, I'm home?
Is he going to go home first or is he going to go and help Allen?
That's a good question. Where is it? Where are they going? Where are they heading to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could go home. But yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like, what's next? What's the next move? I think that was my big question that I had.
What does Cecil do when Omni-Man gets there?
Yeah. 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 Omni-Man, I don't want to give too much away. He like his entire story is a really interesting, good story. You know, Honestly, most of the characters, all the main characters that we know of, even some of the side characters, like they do well in the comic. They do well of exploring and making all these characters really interesting, which is a fun thing to do. So,
do you see, Nolan and Cecil working together again?
What'd you say, Brandon? I don't want to say anything because
I could see it happening out of necessity. As someone who hasn't read the graphic novels just yet, I could see it happening out of necessity. Like if a common thread arises. That's how it goes in stories like this from time to time. So, yep, I could.
Yeah,
I think that Nolan has nowhere to go. He comes to Earth, he's going to be rejected, by his wife. His son's going to be like, "Dad, you probably should go." He has nowhere to go, so Cecil's going to provide him with a space to go, and then they build their relationship more from there.
Yeah, but Cecil's never, like Brandman said, Cecil's not the kind of person to turn down help, but he also, after what Omni-Man did the first time, like he knows he needs to always be ready for anything, which is hence why he did what he did to Mark, earlier this season. Well, but yeah. I know I was telling you guys, I think there's going to be 2 major events this season. And if that happens, I think it's going to be a really interesting end of the season. If it ends where I think and where I want it to end, it might not, but where I want it to end, where I think it might end, could be an interesting way to lead into, because there's 2 more seasons. I think they signed on for season 5 and 6, or just 5.
5 and 6, I believe.
5
and 6 are being signed for.
Yeah. But I mean, this keeps doing good numbers on Amazon, so they're gonna keep renewing it. So hopefully they give it back some of its budget, because they keep taking away each season. They keep taking money away, but the popularity each season keeps going bigger and bigger. So yeah, so we'll see. Anything else from you guys before we move on?
Nope.
Nah. Cool. But yeah, that's our thoughts with Invincible season 3, episode 4. I don't get too many details, if you haven't watched it, but this is a great episode. A great episode. Mark going in the future, that was, like Brian said, it
works on so many different levels.
It does. It really does. It really does. It makes the main character question his own morals, question his own actions, and yeah.
And then they even question the idea of what it is to be in the future, and how do you interact with yourself in the future in this world? I thought that was all ingenious. So yeah, hand clap to them.
Yeah. Also, the twins, voiced by Zolo, by from Cobra Kai, Miguel. So
all around champion. Let's go.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good week, right? But cool. That is our thoughts for Invincible. We want to hear from you guys, so leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Invincible season 3. Any theories you might have, let us know. Love to hear it. If you did read the comic, stay away from spoilers. We don't want to get too much into ruining other people's enjoyment. But we appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us in the live chat. Make sure you guys stick around, because we're going to get into your comments right now.